just like these in pure joy after just weeks of putting this quick exotic rice hack to the test for themselves. And just as it worked for them, how will you feel when it works for you? Imagine. No more worries about people laughing and joking behind your back because of your size. No more stress or depression over what your husband or wife really thinks about your naked body, but is too scared to tell you. No more anxiety about sudden heart attacks, strokes, or diabetes. Instead, you'll be eating what you want with no guilt or shame. You'll be active again, traveling, gardening, playing with your kids and grandkids. Joints will be smooth, hair thick and strong, skin glowing and refreshed. And because this natural method targets the biological root cause of your belly fat, once the fat's gone, it's gone forever. So no more worrying about jumping between skinny and baggy pants, losing and gaining the same 5 pounds over and over, or how slim you'll be in 1 month or 1 year from now. The truth is, you've never heard about this solution before. I guarantee it. That's because the greedy, corrupt $78 billion weight loss industry are furiously doing everything in their power to hide it from you and take this video down, as their entire business relies on you getting fatter and fatter, sicker and sicker, and staying a customer for life. Time is ticking. I don't know how much longer we have, so listen carefully. Pay attention and watch this video to the very end. In the following banned presentation, you'll be shocked when you discover the identity of the ancient calorie-burning cells, the science-backed root cause of your belly fat. That's nothing to do with genetics, hormones, toxin, your gut, or anything else that they made you believe, and are the exact reason why some people are just slim from birth, eat what they want, and still look great in a bathing suit, while you eat like a rabbit and work out all day and struggle to lose a single pound. You'll be amazed when you discover the tropical rice method that boosts these primeval calorie-burning cells and the exact step-by-step breakdown so you can do it yourself right away at home. You'll be outraged when you hear 2 of the biggest weight loss mistakes done by millions each day that are supposed to make you thinner, but instead slow metabolism, increase cravings, and clog arteries every time you do them. Plus, I'll share all the studies from the top universities that back up everything I'm saying about how and why this works. All of that, plus a few hidden surprises along the way inside this video that I can't wait for you to see. It's time to break free from the prison of fat once and for all. The time is now. Are you ready? Hey, as mentioned, I'm Tom Harris. I'm no professor, nutritionist, or fitness influencer here to confuse you with scientific jargon. I'm a 43-year-old police sergeant and live with my beautiful wife, Grace, and our 2 girls in Harrisburg, Virginia. In 2010, I was part of a 200-strong police force who quelled a riot that started just from a simple student block party, but quickly turned into a very dangerous and frightening 8,000-man riot that left many of my fellow officers injured and stabbed. I tell you this because I know what it's like to lose control. Just like a small block party can turn against you into a very deadly situation, so can your body. And that's what happened to Grace and me, and you too. Our story will likely sound familiar. We met in our 20s, madly in love, and not a care in the world, slim, athletic, and taking our health for granted. Then, at 26 years old, Grace gave birth to our first child, Ava. With 20 pounds of pregnancy fat, she did what she always did, cut some carbs, did some Zumba classes, and just like that, it was gone. But 7 years later, our next child, Emma, was born. And after eating for 9 months, she was 50 pounds heavier this time. Our doctor warned that her high blood sugar and fat around her belly and organs was suffocating her heart. She had to lose the 50 pounds or risk a heart attack or stroke at any second. Easy, she thought. But at 33 years old, something was different. Everything that had worked before stopped working completely. The pregnancy fat would not budge, and she struggled to lose just 5 pounds over the course of the next years. We tried everything: keto, Atkins, paleo, vegan, detoxes. We spent thousands on Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, and Nutrisystem. Heck, we even bought a Peloton bike, but that just made her knee pain worse. Sure, with every new miracle diet or workout, she lost a pound or 2 and felt hope and excitement that she was finally on the right track. But they were impossible to stick to. And by day 4 to 5, her cravings for Krispy Kremes and Ben & Jerry's overpowered her. Old habits kicked in, and she'd fail, filling her with regret for letting herself down and overwhelmed with guilt. And with every failure came comfort eating, so putting on even more nasty fat and orange peel cellulite than before she started, and the further away she drifted from the woman I fell in love with. Truthfully, we were close to separation. Our sex life vanished. I'm embarrassed to admit, it was impossible to be intimate. We barely spoke. And when we did, it was just about how tired and unsatisfied we were. This went on for 9 years. And instead of losing weight, she was now 59 pounds heavier, depressed and in chronic back pain. She stopped getting dressed in front of me, stopped looking in mirrors. She'd lock the door when she took a shower. Her self-esteem was so low, we never ate out, terrified of people judging what she ate or how her fat would roll over the edges of the chair. Grace thought about all the other women, skinny and toned, who ate what they wanted.
Why can't I be like them? What's wrong with me?
She said. Exhausted, Grace looked up at me, tears in her eyes, grabbing that thick hip fat that disgusted her so much as the realization set in. She was going to be overweight for the rest of her life.
I can't live like this anymore.
I've never felt so helpless in all my life. You see, I know exactly what you're going through because I saw Grace live these feelings every day. 3 months later, our darkest fears were realized. We were sitting at the dinner table when her face suddenly dropped and turned deathly white. She collapsed on the floor like a dead weight, dragging the table cover with her. Plates smashed violently as the girls screamed. The ambulance rushed her to the hospital and they kept her in overnight for observation. She was lucky to be alive. If you're overweight, you're 60% more likely to have a heart attack or stroke, 80% more likely to have coronary artery disease, and 22% more likely to get Alzheimer's or memory loss. Scary, isn't it? As I sat by Grace's side, holding her cold and frightened hand in mine, I felt angry and ashamed. Angry at the deceitful weight loss industry who, for over a decade, had drained our bank accounts and whose solution only made my wife sicker. Ashamed because I promised to take care of her, but I didn't know how. My heart constricted in my chest at the thought of losing her, of Ava and Emma losing their mommy. That night, we prayed to God for a miracle.
Please don't die, Mommy. Please don't go.
And I know He heard us, because Grace made an incredible recovery that night. And what happened next was the most bizarre and eye-opening moment of my life, and the breakthrough we needed, and you need too. In the morning, a breaking news report appeared on TV. I turned up the volume.
Leaving court today is Dr. Michael Kim, a 62-year-old consultant doctor who's claiming obesity has already been cured and that, quote, the fraudulent weight loss industry is hiding it from you. Named in the lawsuit are 3 top weight loss brands with billions of dollars in revenue, where Dr. Kim had worked for over 8 years as a researcher and advisor before trying to go public with the truth. However, today, the weight loss brands won in court again and actioned yet another cease and desist, his 4th this year. Dr. Kim has already spent a small fortune fighting them for their right to reveal what he calls the biggest weight loss secret in the past 100 years. The question remains, will he ever succeed in doing so? Tom?
Right. Thank you, Anna.
I had to speak to him. Every day, I rang his receptionist to schedule a meeting until eventually he agreed. He was a highly intelligent man, well-spoken and friendly with a great sense of humor. He told me all about his life as a doctor on a tiny tropical island off the coast of Vietnam called Da Bac, before moving to the USA to work for some of America's biggest weight loss companies. Did you know Da Bac is one of the world's most biodiverse and unique ecosystems with its lush forests, exotic coral reefs, and packed with flora and fauna, including the beautiful and endangered Da Bac langur? In fact, many remedies and medicines for blood pressure, hair loss, and vision health come from the over 800 medicinal and edible plants unique to the island. And while he told me about the wonders of his home island, I told him all about Grace's heartbreaking 16-year struggle with her weight, how it had affected every part of our lives, and our kids too. With Grace's rapidly declining health, we didn't have much time. I begged him for his secret. If there was anything we could do where over a decade of American diets and exercise had failed us. And what Dr. Kim said over the next couple minutes blew my mind. First, understand none of this is Grace's fault, he said. The moment you feel your belly get a little squishy, you're encouraged to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice and do some jogging and squats. Sound familiar? The issue here is from this moment on, you're destined to get fatter, not thinner. That's how the weight loss industry makes billions. That's how they're designed. After all, when was the last time you went on a diet or skipped meals and the weight stayed off forever? Never happened, right? After starting a diet, your fat cells may shrink a little, but soon, after your body enters starvation mode, slows your metabolism and protects itself by holding on to fat. A little-known 2020 study published in the British Medical Journal followed 22,000 overweight people doing popular diets such as Atkins, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, and South Beach. After 6 months, they found that nearly all 22,000 participants had rebounded and failed. and 66% ended up putting on more weight than when they started. So remember when your diet fails and you feel shame and lack of willpower after eating foods outside of your diet? You're not to blame. Worse, research from Berkeley University, California found dieting just once can cause slow metabolism, hair thinning, hunger spikes, and increased risk of heart disease and osteoporosis. And the slow metabolism damage can be permanent. A study of 16 Biggest Loser contestants found their metabolism months after stopping dieting was still slower by 500 calories a day, said Dr. Kim. The truth, slim people do not diet. They don't need to. I know that because in just a moment, I'll reveal the identity of the ancient calorie-burning cells that hundreds of clinical studies found are abundant in slim people and almost non-existent in fat people, as well as the quick, exotic method you can do right now to increase them for yourself and take back control over your weight. And exercise? Dr. Kim continued, the average person can only burn 5% of their daily calories through exercise. It's nothing. 2 hours of grueling cycling only burns around 500 calories. So no wonder studies show people eat more after exercise, overestimating how many calories they burn. To prove this, Dr. Church at the University of Louisiana made hundreds of overweight women exercise for 1, 2, or 3 hours a week, and some none at all. You'd expect those who exercise to have lost more weight than those who didn't, right? Well, despite what the weight loss industry wants you to believe, there was no difference in fat loss between those who exercise and didn't. And this is why meal plans, diet food, and workouts are such a cash machine for the $78 billion weight loss industry. They keep you coming back. In their lifetime, each American spends over $111,500 on trying to lose weight. And nearly half of all Americans are obese, so it's big business, said Dr. Kim. I could picture the millionaire CEOs drinking champagne, laughing on their private yachts at the expense of people like you and my wife. It made me sick. Dr. Kim paused, told me to get a pen and paper, and read aloud a few odd plants, herbs, and spices I've never heard of. What's this? I asked. Many years ago, I gave this to them and trusted them with it, said Dr. Kim, but they hid it from those who need it most and forced me into silence, but no more. Obesity doesn't exist on Dabak Island. We don't even have a word for it in our language. And this is why. Eat it and see for yourself. I have to go. They may be listening, he said. And as soon as we said our goodbyes, I was on my laptop researching this odd recipe. First were grains of the tropical rice bak hong, an aromatic and anti-aging superfood native to Dabak Island, used by medicine men for thousands of years because of its anti-inflammatory effects. Its active compound luteolin is full of antioxidants that studies show supports healthy memory, vision, and cholesterol, and repairs skin damage. But more importantly, a 2016 study published in the International Journal of Obesity found it triggers a conversion of normal fat in our body into something called brown adipose tissue, or brown fat. Brown fat? I never heard of that before. You see, there are two types of fat, white fat and brown fat. It was thought only babies had this special brown fat, which makes up 5% of their weight. Babies can't shiver, so when cold, brown fat would activate to keep them warm. Researchers assumed that all brown fat disappears during childhood. But in 2009, scientists from Finland made a little-known discovery. Adults have tiny amounts of brown fat too. But what does increasing brown fat have to do with weight loss? I had no idea until I searched deeper and struck gold. A 2021 study published in Nature Medicine of 52,000 women and men from 30 to 80, the largest of its kind in humans, found just one common factor in every overweight man and woman, low brown fat levels. And common in every skinny person, exactly, higher brown fat levels. And all those with more brown fat had supported excellent blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol levels, amazing liver, heart, and artery health, and even higher dopamine levels, the feel-good hormone. Another study published in Time magazine tested increasing brown fat on obese mice. The result? While being fed the exact same diet, this is the mouse with low or normal brown fat, and this is the mouse with increased brown fat. These mice lost nearly 50% of their fat mass in just 2 weeks. That's because while white fat cells are balloon-like stores of excess calories from the food we eat, increasing risk of diabetes and disease, brown fat is the opposite. Despite its name, it's not fat at all. It's not a fat store, but a fat shrinker. Its brown color comes from its densely packed mitochondria, which work 24/7 to burn calories from your fat stores and the food you eat into pure, natural energy. And even though brown fat cells are tiny and make up a fraction of your weight, they can burn up to 300 times more calories than any other cell in your body. Even a small increase in brown fat means a huge jump in calorie burning and energy levels. Imagine tricking your body into thinking it's running a marathon, but you're not. You're lying on the couch watching TV, and then you get an idea of how powerful increasing brown fat is for weight loss. And you keep burning calories like a furnace week on week, year on year, with no rebounding or side effects. These are exactly the ancient fat shrinking cells Dr. Kim was talking about. Remember, 5% of a newborn baby's weight is brown fat, which is about 6.4 ounces. And body scans show the average adult still has about 1.5 ounces of brown fat, which decreases quickly as we age. Not enough to stay slim, but get this. A hidden study in the respected Lancet journal looked at men and women from Vietnam and the island of Dabac and uncovered something remarkable. They have a whopping 6.6 ounces of brown fat. That's 450% more calorie-burning brown fat than the average American adult, and even more than when they were born. So it's no wonder Dr. Kim and the Dabac Islanders, who eat huge portions of high-carb and high-sugar food, easily have the lowest rates of obesity, even less than Japan and Switzerland, and the highest life expectancy in the entire world. And why a study from the University of Leipzig in Germany found Dabac Islanders are immune to weight gain. You see, your low levels of brown fat are the real root cause of your unexplained belly fat, aging, depression, and fatigue. But don't start booking a journey to Dabac Island to harvest some bok hong rice yourself, because second on Dr. Kim's list was a magical substance. Did you know bees don't just produce honey, but also a smooth resin called propolis with over 300 potent antioxidants and vitamins with blood sugar supporting and anti-allergy effects? Propolis is so rare, it's like manna from heaven. Thousands of years ago, Greeks used it for medicine. Egyptians used it to fight infection, and in World War II, they took propolis for healing. And the best part? A study published in Molecular Biology shows propolis converts large white fat cells into tiny calorie-burning brown fat cells as well. Can you imagine the results combining luteolin and propolis together? But it doesn't stop there, because next was white Korean ginseng root that the University Health Center in Montreal found converts dangerous white fat into brown fat too. White Korean ginseng's other benefits are huge. It supports a healthy immune system by 38%, reduces oxidative stress, and boosts cognitive memory and mood. One study found it improves men's erection quality by 60%. Next, kudzu root, native to Dabac Island, an exotic antioxidant root that Japanese scientists found that, yes, you guessed it, increases brown fat too. Kudzu supports a healthy heart, can reduce back pain, and a study from Yale University School of Medicine found reduces headaches by as much as 61%. It even reduces sugar cravings and is great for oral health, supporting gum health, and reducing risk of tooth loss and decay. Recently, Dr. Oz featured kudzu as a body fat melter. Finally, Amur cork tree bark. Used as a painkiller in traditional Vietnamese medicine, this bark is full of berberine that rapidly multiplies brown fat levels and is fantastic for gut health, reducing bloating, aiding regular toilet breaks, and easing digestive symptoms. One study found that taking berberine daily causes a weight loss of about 10 pounds every few weeks and a drop of 20% in fasting blood sugar. Over 5,000 other studies show berberine also supports a healthy heart, liver, kidneys, and every cell in your body. So I was excited to see it on Dr. Kim's list. I sat back in my chair feeling like I'd won the lottery. I had to try this incredible, life-changing recipe straight away. But there was a problem. Finding high-quality suppliers of the tropical superfoods took weeks, then months to arrive, and more time to carefully extract the leaves, pigments, roots, and resins. It cost me over $1,200, and in the end, I was tired and didn't have a day's worth of the recipe. I needed help. Of the 12 respected and independent scientists eager to work with me, I chose British doctor, Dr. Edward Walker, an anti-aging and weight loss specialist. He'd worked privately for royalty, top athletes, TV, and Hollywood stars. He was so excited to hear of my discovery and greeted me with a firm handshake and a big smile. Your research is 100% correct, he said. Not everyone is fat. We all have that one annoying friend who eats what they want and stays skinny. But you eat a single piece of pizza or cake and it instantly sticks to your belly. Well, they don't have a secret. These studies prove they're just lucky to have more calorie-burning brown fat than you. We all lose brown fat since birth at different speeds based on our genetics and body types. And by 35 years old, for most adults, it's nearly gone. Remember eating what you want as a teenager with no issues, but you seem to hit a brick wall as you get older? That's why. I don't mean to scare you, but low brown fat levels are also the common factor in many deadly health conditions like diabetes, high cholesterol, and stroke that kill millions each year. And I've got Grace's in your scan results, and it confirms you, Tom, have around 0.9 ounces of brown fat, and Grace has around 0.6 ounces, which is 91% less than the people of Dabac Island. You're burning almost no extra calories. It's no wonder you found it impossible to lose a single pound. Scientists have wondered for years if it's even possible for you to increase brown fat, but I'm 100% sure you can after reading this recipe and certifying all these double-blind studies, he said. Over the next weeks, Dr. Walker called in favors with top scientists worldwide to discover 3 more unique plants to boost results. Number 1, recommended by Chief Medical Research Professor Ansari from Nepal, holy basil, also known as tulsi. The Hindus worship holy basil. They call it the mother medicine of nature. That's because holy basil is nothing like regular basil. It's a special plant called an adaptogen, which means it helps your body reduce stress, improve mood, and reduce depression. One study from Melbourne University, Australia, found daily holy basil supported healthy cognition, memory, and brain power. Holy basil is also crammed full of ursolic acid, which studies from University of Iowa and the Public Library of Science show increases healthy brown fat levels and reduces obesity. Number 2, recommended by top research scientist Professor Galanis from Athens, Greece, a special antioxidant polyphenol found in Mediterranean olive leaves called oleurepine. Researchers from the Cairo National Research Center in Egypt found oleurepine converts white fat to brown fat in people fed a high-fat, high-carb diet. Another 2015 study published in Phytotherapy Research found 50 to 100 milligrams a day could flush out dangerous plaque and support healthy arteries and cholesterol levels. That's why Dr. Walker decided to include 200 milligrams of oleurepine, double the effective amount for maximum effect. Finally, number 3, quercetin, a natural flavonoid recommended by Dr. Perez from Madrid, Spain. He told Dr. Walker about a little-known study from Spain that found quercetin also converts deadly white fat cells to tiny healthy brown fat cells. It also improves blood pressure by an average of 23% and neutralizes free radicals that are unstable molecules in the body that can increase the risk of disease. Best of all, it reduces the markers for aging and rejuvenates and repairs aging cells. Amazing. For 6 months, Dr. Walker tested over 300 ratios and weights of the 8 anti-aging superfoods to discover a single potent combination 4 times more powerful than the original recipe. And when taken at the right time of day, would rapidly multiply brown fat, dissolving white fat stores into natural energy at lightning speed, while repairing and healing the damage that decades of being overweight has done to every cell in your body. He then sourced and negotiated bulk deals from the most trusted and certified suppliers from Dabac and around the world to get the very best price. Finally, he worked with a prestigious state-of-the-art manufacturing facility here in the US that was FDA registered and GMP, Good Manufacturing Practice certified, who agreed to carefully prepare the rare ingredients into a single, safe, and easy-to-swallow plant-filled capsule to take every morning. Instead of powders, which flood your digestion, causing heartburn and are flushed out before helping, a capsule means all-day timed release of the potent fat-shrinking formula, even when sleeping. And as soon as they arrived on our doorstep, Grace started. She didn't exercise or diet and started eating all her favorite foods like pizza and cookies as Dr. Walker requested. She was skeptical after 16 years of struggle. She was cautious about getting too excited only to be let down again. But after a few hours, when she felt natural, powerful nutrition flowing through her veins, she knew this was different. One day later, she dropped 3 pounds, but thought nothing of it. But every morning that followed, as her calorie-burning brown fat was boosted, her weight dropped 1 pound, 2 pounds, 2 pounds, 1 pound. She was losing weight so fast I was almost concerned, but Dr. Walker assured us it was perfectly normal. In a matter of weeks, 59 pounds of deep, stubborn fat from her thighs, hips, and every corner of her body had dissolved like ice in the sun, going from this to this sexy lady I'm proud to call my wife today. She fell asleep instantly, waking up every morning from the deepest, most refreshing sleep. Her joints were smooth, free from aches and pains. She was alert, focused, and thinking clear. She was showered with compliments from her friends who doubted her, jealous and desperate for her secret. Instead of wanting to hide from the world in baggy clothes, I was delighted to see her strutting around our house in her new yoga pants with her slim toned belly on display, or on vacation in her favorite waist-hugging summer dress with a big smile across her face. How confident she felt on the beach in her new bikini with her silky smooth hair, cellulite-free legs, and clear radiant skin on display. She was so proud to notice her reflection in the water with no worries about people smirking behind her back. And not only was Grace in love with her hot new firm body, but in love with mine too. I used this tropical hack myself, and every day I was tightening my belt by a notch until 29 pounds had melted from my double chin and belly, while I still drank beer and ate mac and cheese almost every day. Every time we saw each other, our eyes widened. We couldn't keep our hands off each other. We were like teenagers again, enjoying the most amazing, passionate nights of our